Merry Christmas, everybody. This is now Senator TK FOMO. I have moved up into a new hierarchy, helping rule these great planets in the galaxy, and particularly the Outer Rim. And the first bill that I am going to pass is FOMO-less. Starting with the new year, let's make a New Year's resolution to go FOMO-less. No more FOMO. No more FOMO at all. It doesn't matter how many pre-orders go on waitlist. If it gets announced in an hour and it goes on waitlist in 2 minutes, we just won't have any FOMO. It doesn't matter if it's 1 pre-order, 2 pre-orders, 3 pre-orders, 4 pre-orders, 5 pre-orders, 6 pre-orders. We still will be FOMO-less, even if it's 7 pre-orders, 8 pre-orders, 9 pre-orders, 10 pre-orders, 1 million pre-orders. We must come together to remain FOMO-less for 2023, and I, Senator TK FOMO, will lead the charge against all FOMO throughout the galaxy and the entire universe. For TK FOMO, Merry Christmas and a glorious Happy New Year!
Let's go ahead and do it old school. Wait, you sure you want me to do it old school? I haven't done this in a long time. Sip of coffee first. Okay, I think I'm ready. Welcome to another episode of the Market Value Chart Show, right here, baby, at 6 Scale Cantina. And woo-wee, I have got the coffee in hand, because is it possible that I spilled this coffee with that epic, and we all knew it was coming, right? We knew Mace Windu was coming. We knew it was going to get officially announced, right? But there's always that little part of us. There's always that little bit that makes us wonder. But it happened. So it was still a shock. It was a shock to the system to actually see the bad mofo actually on the Hot Toys Facebook page and now on Sideshow officially announced Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Holidays, and Happy New Year's Eve to you all. This is the Dark Jedi, Aries Tarrington. I will be serving up all the Star Wars Hot Toys talk right here. Aries is live, the annual New Year's Eve live show. And it's just solo with me. I may have a bunch of friends pop in and pop out as I talk about this Mace Windu. And really, I'm going to give you my thoughts on what I think about the figure. And look, there's already a super chat. You're too kind, Mr. Bob's Collectibles. Let's leave that up there for a second, because I didn't even get to the intro yet. But I'm going to give you my thoughts, because I know a lot of you are asking me, what do I think about this Mace Windu? But even more importantly, what about 2022? On what Hot Toys gave us? What Howard Chan delivered to us in 2022? You see it on the banner right there. We got Mace, Sam Jackson. We got Natalie Portman, Padme. We got Anthony Daniels, C-3PO. We got a Bespin, Mark Hamill, Luke Skywalker, all in 2022. My God, it is absolutely what an insane year. But you have to wonder, what does that mean for 2023? Is it going to meet what happened here in 2022? Or is it possible that it could exceed even our wildest imaginations? Look, we have to look at the trends. We have to follow the breadcrumbs. But I tell you what, no matter what happens, all of these, as TK FOMO just said, interrupting this program, the interruption from that epic Christmas Eve show, you have to go without FOMO. But let me tell you, every one of these are going to go on waitlist real quick, fast, in a hurry. Let's go ahead and read some of this here. Mr. Bob's Collectibles with the $5 drop. Thank you so much, buddy. For those who have faith and patience, we have been rewarded. Amen. Hot Toys does it again. Right with you, baby. And happy New Year's, Aries, and happy New Year's to you too, my friend. And thank you for this wonderful channel. Thank you, Mr. Bob's Collectibles. Thank you. I appreciate that, Ryan, so much. And for everybody out there, Ryan, Mr. Bob's Collectibles also has an upstart channel that is pretty darn awesome. Make sure you subscribe to Mr. Mom's Collectibles. Looking forward to getting Ryan on here in the new year for sure on one of the panels. But happy New Year to you. How wonderful is it, my friend? So look, we've got a lot to get into. What does the Dark Jedi think of the Mace Windu? It's probably not going to be what you think. I actually think the head sculpt is right on, baby. But I have a couple of other thoughts on something, which is going to be interesting. How fast is this going to get on waitlist? What do I think of the price of it? What do I think of this year? What about Boba Fett? What about Boba Fett hitting waitlist from the book of Boba Fett? You know there's a low stock warning on that Vader DX28 right now. You know you want me to play the intro. So let's go ahead and dive into all of this right now. All right, and welcome everybody to Aries Live here at Six Scale Cantina, Aries Cantina, the annual New Year's Eve live show. I may be having some special guests who will pop in and pop out throughout the show, some friends to come in and say hi. But anyway, I hope you had a wonderful Christmas and a wonderful holiday week thus far. Yourself, your family, your friends, and I hope you're having a great New Year's Eve. I'm happy to go live to kind of hang out with you all here on this New Year's Eve. Happy New Year to you. It's going to be an awesome new year. But what a way. Let's get right into it. Let's get right in it. I'll try to get to as many as I can in the chat. But I want to keep coherent here. I'm live, and I'm the only one setting the controls for the Heart of the Sun. And like I said, there's some people who may come on in and surprise us, come on in and out during this New Year's Eve annual show with Aries. So while I was away, Sam Jackson, Mace Windu, what a way for Howard Chan, J.C. Hong, and the gang at Hot Toys to cap off 2022. And not to mention the Super Battle Droid as well. Not discounting that. My goodness. But what a way. And of course, I had the sneaking suspicion that we would get this wave 2, this phase 2, right before the end of the year. And I feel like that they wanted to put an exclamation point. Hot Toys, Howard, wanted to put an exclamation point on 2022 in terms of Star Wars, that IP that they make these wonderful figures with. And boy, oh boy, did they ever. They officially announced Mace Windu, and it's up on Sideshow right now for pre-order. And there's a lot for me to get into. I know you want my thoughts on the figure. But first and foremost, thank you, Howard Chan. If you're watching this, and I know you watch, I know you got your interpreters out there, and I know you Hot Toys guys watch this, and you Hot Toys gals. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for listening to Six Scale Cantina for all these months, these couple of years, for listening to the other channel content creators, and listening to the community on the figures that we want. Is it possible that you delivered in 2022 in a way that I personally wasn't sure you were going to? And I say yes, which is why I got this big smile on me face. Cheers to you, Howard Chan. Happy holidays to you. Happy New Year to you and all your staff at the Hot Toys. Congratulations. At this point, Howard and Hot Toys, I can legitimately call Star Wars Hot Toys a real collection of Star Wars figures, because you've got most of the characters anyway. We still need Poe. Most of the enough characters anyway, shall I say, to call this a legitimate collection. You gave us Lando Calrissian. Oh, that was so important. You gave us 3PO. You gave us Padme. And my God, you gave us Mace Windu. Absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy. All right. So we got a bunch in here already. Happy New Year to you. Make sure you smash that like button. This is a copy of the banner at sixscalecantina.com. And you see Mace Windu front and center. You see, oh my God, thank you, Hot Toys. And I just thanked them there. And again, just a picture here. And not to discount the Super Battle Droid. And not to discount the Clone Pilot. Or the Clone Trooper. Or R2-D2, because we already got him. But a lot of figures that people thought we would never get. Figures where we were losing hope. Figures where we just were like, I know the Hot Toys wizard says it's coming. Think he's smoking some of that wizard leaf. Mace Windu's never going to come. They got to prioritize themselves on the Mandoverse. Bespin Luke, forget about it. That's never going to come. They teased that 4 or 5 years ago with the Bespin Han. Not coming, even before the Bespin Han. Padme, forget about it. One of the figures in the crypt, C-3PO, never. And one figure after another figure, after another figure, after another figure. Again, not to discount the battle droids and the troopers. Hot Toys says no, 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 and no. And you have to wonder, is it possible that Hot Toys is not only diving deep with Disney in the Mandoverse, as they should, but also in the Star Wars George Lucas total universe? And I say, who cares what I say? It's right here. It's right here. Already you've gotten nine figures from the Attack of the Clones, which arguably, it's a fantastic movie. It's not as good as Return of the Jedi for many Star Wars fans. So you think you're going to get at least nine for Return of the Jedi 40th for next year, an OT movie? You could just start following the breadcrumbs of the joy that Hot Toys is probably going to bestow on us in 2023. I think it's going to be an absolutely fantastic year. Fantastic year. Make sure that you've smashed that like button. Do it right now. Take a pause. Take a sip. Happy New Year. Happy New Year's Eve. Let's go to the first thing first. Let's talk about the Mace Windu. I'll pull it up onto the screen. What do I think about it? Let me blow it up a little bit so we can start getting into it. I think that the head sculpt is sensational. I'm just going to go right with you. Uh, you cannot. I've never seen a Mace Windu. Put it to you this way: in an action figure form, better than this in any toy collectible that I've ever seen in my entire existence. And make no mistake about it. I show this to my wife. I show this to my kids immediately without taking a second look. Oh, it's Mace Windu. It's Sam Jackson. It's not even a question. And to me, it's a certain expression that he has. And that's what you get a lot of times with these figures. And art is subjective. Let me first say that. Art is subjective. And just like some people like Led Zeppelin and some people hate Led Zeppelin, they can't stand Robert Plant's voice because art is subjective. But I'm going to be completely honest with you. I don't think that this is subjective at all. I could take this out to anybody in the public that's not a Star Wars fan, but a Sam Jackson fan, and right off the bat, that's Sam Jackson. And while art is subjective, and I think it's important, look at how good that looks. Oh my God. Let's look at how juicy that is. That is just so damn sweet. And while art is subjective, and everybody has every right to say, hey, this doesn't look good, this does look good. I think it's important as a community that we stay positive. I really, really do. And don't fall into some of the comments that you see that happens all the time with the Hot Toys Facebook page. I almost try to avoid that page and looking at the comments. I saw one where they thought this looked like Seal. And while I love Seal, this looks nothing like Seal. To say that this looks like Seal says that I look like 6-scale Mafia, or 6-scale Mafia looks like me. You might as well say this looks like Michael Jordan. Let's put aside the juvenile comments. They make no sense. And comments like that don't justify a real opinion. You want to justify an opinion? Give me something justifiable. I think something's off with Sam Jackson here. It looks a little bit there. Then you're actually speaking like somebody who's giving a real argument to state their case on something being subjective. Not saying I look like 6-scale Mafia or 6-scale Mafia looks like me, or this looks like Michael Jordan, or this looks like Seal, which is complete and utter nonsense. I know it, and you know it, and everyone knows it. This looks like Sam Jackson. Is it perfect? Is it perfect? Let me ask you this. Is anything perfect? Is anything perfect? And if you believe in a higher being and you believe in God, which I do, he's perfect. That's it. Nothing else is perfect. So is this perfect? No. And when they release this figure, is it 100% going to be different than the prototype? Just like with the Rey from The Rise of Skywalker, just like the Billy D. Williams Lando from The Empire Strikes Back, just like this or that, yes, it will be different. Just like the Ahsoka from the Clone Wars. It's going to be different. Now, whether it's better or worse, I can't tell you that. I could tell you from this past year with Hot Toys and on their current trend, with the data, it points more towards that it could be actually better. That's the direction that I'm going with. Is it perfect? No. Is that Sam Jackson? Without question. Without question, that's Sam Jackson. Doesn't look like Seal, and it doesn't look like Gerald Ford. It looks like Sam Jackson. That's like that nonsense when Katie Sackhoff came off, and someone made a funny comment, oh, it looks like John Cena. That's a travesty to that woman, to that actress. That's like all that nonsense against the actress with the Rose Tico from The Last Jedi and all that other kind of stuff. Look, you want to get on Rian Johnson, get on him all day long. Get on Rian Johnson all day long. You want to get on Kathleen Kennedy for messing it up and for messing up Luke Skywalker, which was one of the biggest travesties in the history of movie fandom. You absolutely go ahead and do that. You want to get on them for messing this up? Kathleen Kennedy and Rian Johnson, they deserve it.
Fulfill your destiny.
But to get on an actress or an actor, come on, grow up. We're not in third grade. I'm not going to support it. None of you should support it. And my advice to you is don't even read the comments in the Facebook page, because all it does is get you fired up. Is it perfect? No. Is it Sam Jackson? Yes. Is it going to be different when it comes out? They always are different. See, I had to come live and give you my opinion. Unfiltered, raw. And that's the truth. That is the 100% truth. I guess I should stop and look at some comments. Big Dog Pound with the woo. All right, let's go ahead and do it. Woo! And you know, every time I do that Big Dog Pound, I actually envision Ric Flair, whether it's in the NWA or the WCW, or later on in his career, the WWF, WWE ring with the $5 drop. Absolutely. Happy New Year to you, my friend. Lane Kramer with the $2 drop. Lane, what is going on? Happy New Year. He looks more like Mace Pancake, less like Windu. He did fly out the window, but he didn't become a pancake because, Lane, as you know, he flew out the window and the Emperor said, no. I mean, I got to have that clip somewhere in here, right? You know, he said, no. And then he flew out the window, but then he force pushed himself before he became a pancake on the ground. And he crawled somewhere, and he's probably got Grogu, or either Anakin's got Grogu. Come on, baby. You know the drill there, my friend. Let's go ahead and fill laid up on table 66, because that's obviously where you're sitting. And let's see if I could find the right. Here's one. No. Let's go.
No.
You're talking about when he flew out the window right before this?
No.
He survived. Look, the Emperor survived the Death Star. Lane. Darth Maul survived cutting in half. He didn't get cut in half. He just got a little electrocuted and got his ears a little messed up when he kept hearing this over and over.
No.
Thank you so much there, Mr. Lane Kramer, with a $2 drop. Much appreciated. Going back to this. Stay away from the negativity. Here's my advice to you. You don't like a figure, don't buy it. And as a community, what we should do to promote positivity and help each other is we disagree with something, state the reasons for disagreeing with it. But we don't need to make second-grade comments. Makes no sense at all. But people are going to do that anyway. My advice to you, stay away from it. Now, going back to this, because I do. But I caught that one. It just kind of made me chuckle, and I had to sound off on it. This is Sam Jackson. I'm looking right at it as I'm looking at you. Let's blow this up. No, wait. I'm changing my mind. You're right. This looks like me. This looks like Aries. This looks like Aries. It looks like TK FOMO. It actually does look like TK FOMO, because this is going to go on waitlist real quick, fast, and in a hurry. I think this head sculpt is money. I'm going to be completely honest with you. Where I have an interesting comment on this, I'm a little surprised, at least from what I've seen so far, correct me in the chat, that this does not have rolling eyes function. I dig the head sculpt. I think it's incredible. I think it looks just like him. And like I said, I think it's going to be different when it comes out. Whether it's better or worse will remain to be seen. My vote is, my guess is that'll be better. I'm getting a little bit spoiled. Hot Toys, with your rolling eyes function. I would have liked to have had the rolling eyes function with this head sculpt. So I'm not saying I'm like disappointed that it didn't come with the rolling eyes function, but I'm going to give constructive criticism because, not he looks like John Cena or some kind of ridiculous nonsense like I'm in second grade like that. But the constructive criticism to me is, and I'm not sure it's really criticism, but it's just a point. I was expecting the USB powered lightsaber. But I was kind of expecting it to have rolling eyes. I'm kind of expecting a lot of the figures coming out in the future to have the rolling eyes function. So I'm a little bit intrigued, fascinated. It's fascinating that it doesn't come with it, because I feel like that they're on a trend, Hot Toys. Just look at that head sculpt. My God. I mean, I'm just giving it to you real. That's the best Mace Windu I've ever seen, other than looking at Sam Jackson and touching Sam Jackson's face myself. I don't know anything that looks better. But the real thing for me is a little surprised this didn't come with the rolling eyes function. Just being honest with you. What do you think about that? Been seeing it a lot. Came with the Padme, right? Didn't it come with Padme? Unless I'm losing my mind. Maybe I had too much off-world Jawa egg juice while I was away. Didn't the Anakin come with it? Why didn't this one come with it? And maybe this did come with it. Let me see. And Eric Henke puts in his Hot Toys waiting for a DS. Exactly what I thought. I don't know if it's going to be a DX, but I think with the next one, even if the head sculpt's just, it's going to have the rolling eyes function. That's exactly what I thought, Eric. As soon as I saw that it didn't, but I was reading through Sideshow, so someone correct me if I'm wrong. So I would have liked to have had the rolling eyes function with it. And 8-bit Flea goes, dude is bald. How could you make rolling eyes? It's a good point. But I think that that's part of innovation, right? You're coming out with figures just because he's bald. I don't know if that's an excuse, to be honest with you, 8-bit Flea. I mean, we can go to the moon, right? Right? Hasn't humankind been to the moon and to Mars, and we can't do this because he's bald? Please. Appreciate the comment, but I disagree. But that's the thing with me. And I feel like that is a legitimate question. Because what? Characters that don't have hair are never going to have rolling eyes function? No, they need to figure something out with that. I think it'd be quite easy, actually, to be able to do. And especially when you go ahead and take the head sculpt out, you could go right inside there. Just a little surprised, honestly. That's my biggest thing with this, that it didn't come with rolling eyes function. I'm like, well, that's but I'm okay with it. Like I said, I think the head sculpt's great. I mean, I think that this looks like Sam. I don't know what else they could have done for me personally. This is my honest opinion. I give you straight shooter here. Okay. Personally, I don't know what else I can get than that. I'm not going to get any friends at work, any friends in my family that are going to come over and say, oh, that wrinkle above his left eyebrow, or his jaw looks like John Cena there, or his ears are a little bit off. They're going to come in, they're going to say, holy crap, this looks like Sam Jackson, and these Hot Toys are amazing, which is the effect I want to have when I show off my collection, which is the impact I want to go ahead and have when I pose these figures. And that's exactly what they're giving me here. Is it perfect? No. But I'll be honest with you, I'm looking at that there. At some points where you put in the Peter Cushing Moff Tarkin, I think this looks more realistic. I guess you put it in different lights. Again, it's one expression, it's one face, it's one moment in time. Is it going to be different when it comes out? You bet your arse it's going to be. Is it going to be better? I think so. Could it be worse? Sure. But I would have liked to have had the rolling eyes, to be honest with you. I just really would have. Let's go to some other pictures here as we go. That is like money. My God, this looks so good. Look at that. So the outfit. Look at the guards. The guards there. I want to talk about a little bit. How about Hot Toys coming through, giving us a little bit of Clone Wars magic with this as well, and that's pretty interesting there that they went ahead and they did that. And so I want to go ahead and give them props for going ahead, not only with the hands there, but with the gauntlets for doing that. How many of you are pretty excited about that? I know I got a lot of comments to get into here. Let me go ahead and get there. Beskar Kid puts in, this is absolutely amazing. First of the Attack of the Clones display and one for the Clone Wars. I know, I think it's amazing as well. Mr. Mom's Collectible says, for me, I don't need rolling eyes. Rather have the sculpt 100% intact personally. Yeah, we'll see when it comes out. Again, art's subjective, right? I think even when it comes out, some people still didn't like that dark, the regular Ray. From in there as well. Getting some IMs here. That was the 6 scale Mafia coming on in here. Let me lower this down so I can get that off the screen. But yeah, I mean, this figure is just incredible. There we go. There we go. Let me go ahead and put this back. Yeah, I would have liked rolling eyes though, Mr. Mom. Just saying. Big Dog Pout asks, where is the Clone Wars General Kenobi? That's a good question. I'm going up for more of the comments. I'm getting to them. Hot Toys Hotline is in here. What's up, my friend? I like this guy's channel a lot, guys. Hot Toys Hotline. He's got a really good channel, and I've checked him out a few times. I'm going to check him out more. If you guys haven't subscribed to the Hot Toys Hotline, he's got a really good show. I'm just saying. And a lot of good upstart channels in here, but I really like this dude here too. I'm subscribed to. They would have to have, at least I think I am. They would have to have done the magnetic neck like wall. I was going to go through all the channels I'm subscribed to and I'll subscribe to, because when you're running a channel and then you got your personal account, you're here on there, not on others. But this guy's got good stuff. Just saying. Beskar Kid goes, rolling eyes or not, I'm getting 2 of these. Oh, yeah. Well, absolutely. CT603 goes, extra sculpts then. Yeah, they could have done that to give you the extra looks, just like the I guess they could have done. I would have been happy with that. Let's leave that up there for a second. It's a good point, CT603. If it would have been too hard to do the rolling eyes on the inside of the neck, or with some kind of contraption on the back, or somehow how they would do that. I guess because there would be a seam or something to that effect because there's no hair. If they would have gave me a couple of head sculpts, would that have been fine with that? Yes, I would have been fine with that. Especially if the mouth wasn't like the Endor Luke. My problem with that is it's got that mouth that's open, and then it has the other mouth, and I would have liked eyes in just different directions. But that's a really, really good point. And AJ Argo goes, are there any bold characters that have the sirs or purrs? I don't know, but I'd like for them to be able to investigate through the neck or away to be able to do it. But now that I'm thinking about it, it could have a seam. Like, Grogu with the seam? I'm thinking about it. I'm live. Hot Toys Hotline says, Mace, there's another one from him. Mace Windu, baby, had to come in and say, what's up, Aries? A fellow Mace Windu believer. I hear you, my friend. OG Mando says, Mace Windu and Anakin Skywalker and Padme, you got to pre-order. Do not miss out. Let's get into this. So as I look through these, I'm giving you my thoughts. I like this figure a lot. I wish it would have had rolling eyes. It's a good point. See, that looks just, I really like it. I'm just saying. I'm just giving you my honest opinion looking at this as I'm scrolling through. A couple of head sculpts, though, would have been, the more I'm thinking about it, if it was going to mess up or have some type of weird, couldn't they do it under the neck? Like, couldn't you pop the head sculpt up and put in the little freaking thing and freaking have the eyes function with one of those things? I mean, am I thinking crazy or what? Anyway, maybe you can't. I could have sworn you could. It just seems engineering wise you could. Anyway, if you wanted to give me two head sculpts, that would have been fine. Not much to say about the outfit. It looks great. It's a Jedi robes. It's a Jedi lightsaber. It's USB. They're not doing the batteries anymore. That looks good. That looks good. This party's over. That looks good. Just being honest, boys and girls, this looks good. Enough of me saying it looks good. You got my opinion. I mean, God. I mean, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't need it to look any better. I don't need it to look any better than this. As a matter of fact, I wouldn't want them to mess it up. If they just come out with it just like this, I'll pose it in the way where it looks great. It looks great. That's just my opinion on it. Let's get to Sideshow and let's look at the price and let's see where this thing is going to run out, because that's what you want me to get into. I gave you my opinion on this. Let's go ahead and take a look at this particular figure. Let's pull it up on the screen on Sideshow. All right, $279 up on the screen. Thank you for the comment, OG Mando. Mace Windu, Anakin, Padme. You got to pre-order them now. So here's what's going on here, guys. As that's blown up here on the screen. Boba Fett from the book of Boba Fett has waitlisted. And I don't even think I was away. Someone in the chat let me know. Did this even have a low stock warning for a long time, or did it just go like that R2-D2 from Wave 1 of the Attack of the Clones? Did it just go? I would think I would assume that it would have been up at least for a little bit. But it almost seemed like with the R2-D2 that it just vanished. You could put 6 in a cart, and it didn't even give you the low stock warning. And I wasn't even, and I scan these every day. I go away for getting ready to go on a road, and just one day away. Of course, I was away for longer than that, but after Christmas Eve, and then the thing's just gone. But that's Boba Fett, not the quarter scale, which a lot of us were arguing about. Hey, when this first started happening, remember with the Peacemaker and the Kate Bishop, hey, it's a quarter scale. That's the only reason why Boba Fett went on waitlist. Don't worry, the other one's not going to. Well, worry, because it just did. And that's Boba Fett. And say what you will about Boba Fett from the Boba Fett series. I know what you're going to tell me. But I'm going to tell you this. The Boba Fett finale blew away the finale of The Mandalorian Season 2 by 36.5%. That's how popular the Book of Boba Fett is. That is why you're going to get a Book of Boba Fett #2, because it's basically just another Mandalorian Mandoverse. It's like watching Arrow and Legends of Tomorrow, or watching Arrow and watching Flash on the CW. It's the same darn thing. They're going to come out with it again. It's going to come out. It's what it is. It had Grogu in there. It had the Mandalorian in there. It doesn't matter what you thought of it. It just, it blew it away. And it's still Boba Fett. And Boba Fett is now on waitlist. And I could tell you right now, with that Boba Fett, and I'll pull it up here in a little bit, is it possible that that is a grail in the making? And I say we're going to have to keep an eye on it. But I think it's very, very possible with a lot of these that are going to go on waitlist, listen carefully, that some of them, not all of them, some of them are going to be instant grails. Boba Fett, I'd put a lot more money down on that than some other off characters. And the reason I'm not saying everyone is going to be a Grail is they didn't make very many of the chrome-plated clone trooper, did they? Think about that. The one with the 2 helmets. You know the one I'm talking about. That came out the same time as the arena suit Boba Fett. One of them is already a Grail, which is going up again. The arena suit Boba Fett. One of them is not. It's above retail. It's going for around $300, so a little bit higher than what it was. And I think for a vast majority of these, that's what you're going to see. It's not that every single figure is going to be a Grail, but they're going to slightly trend above retail on some of them. They're not going to be double, triple the price, but you are going to get some of them because of these limited runs, like the arena suit Boba Fett, that will instantly become a Grail. Does this 1/6 Boba Fett from the book of Boba Fett fit that bill? I'm leaning towards yes. I'm leaning towards yes because they may have made less of that. Listen carefully. Is it possible that Hot Toys made less of the Boba Fett from the book of Boba Fett than the arena suit Boba Fett? And that pretty confidently, I could say yes. I don't even think that figure cracked the top 10. It wasn't like Cad Bane or one of these other Fets when it came out. And now it's on waitlist. And I don't know if that thing got over 3,000 pre-orders. I'm just being honest with you. 1,500? I don't know. But let's look at Mace right here. Let's blow this up. Let's talk about how fast it's going to get on waitlist of the price. $279. I don't have a problem with it. It's a Jedi. It's a Sam Jackson head sculpt. It's got a light up lightsaber. What does it all come with again? Pulling this up on the screen. Yeah, I mean, thank God it's not a stand base. Oh, and it has the light up projector. The stand. Okay. Yeah, I mean, this is good. This is fine. I would have paid $380 for this. What is the price on this again? I would have paid $379 only because I've been waiting so long. $279 is fine. This is a good price. January 2024 to June 2024. I think it's going to come out earlier than that, and I think that this will be on waitlist. Within a few months. Within a few months, guys. There's some stuff to talk about here today. I mean, I'm going to pull this up onto the screen. I'm live by myself. Look at these upcoming releases from Hot Toys. And let me try and blow this up a little bit so you can see it. But you got one of the Attack of the Clone figures in here is coming soon. And they're obviously moving some of these figures up. And that's what's going to happen sometimes. And I don't know what some of your other thoughts are on it. That's what's going to happen sometimes when you get more announcements, but far lower production. And even though that they're overshooting, giving you like a 6-month window so they don't, hear the heat that they were hearing. Okay, you got a 6-month window. This is going to come out between August and December. This is going to come out between January and June or July, or it's going to come out between here and here. That's almost like saying when you're giving 6 months a year, you don't really know when it's going to be coming out. But now all of a sudden, you have one of these from the Attack of the Clones, from the first waves, from the Attack of the Clones 20th anniversary, that it says coming out really, really, really soon. And you're starting to see that with some figures, aren't we? That it's coming out way earlier than anticipated. And you have to wonder, with some of these figures that are going on waitlist, with still 6 to 8 to 12 months left pre-order window, is it possible that they come out way, way earlier? And I say yes. On a couple, on a few, on some, on them all. That's a hard stand to take. Let me get some help from some of the people in the chat over here, some of the other channel creators and upstarts that are in here, and get some of your opinions on that. Mark Attack says, I was scared that they would all go around like 300 like the Cobb Vanth. No. Yeah, both the Anakin, the Padme, and the base. Very, very reasonable, and not at the $300 range at all. Hot Toys Hotline puts in here, fair in terms of the current market, of course. Yeah, I agree with that 100%. 279 is very fair. Glad to see they are coming in a bit cheaper on this Attack of the Clone stuff. Yeah, what's your opinion on that? Is it because of the packaging? You would think the packaging, because it's special, would be. I would think it's actually cost them more money for that corrugate. You know what I'm talking about? That corrugate, that film, that plastic that they put that in, that kind of graphics that they're putting on there versus the typical ones that they get in. I would think that that's actually more expensive. Very, very interesting, because that's also part of the price. A lot of us need to realize that when we're packaging these toys and we're buying these toys, especially with these anniversary packaging, it's not cheap to buy packaging. And depending on how much volume they're buying of each one, that printing. I mean, the more you print typically, okay? Printing is something I know a lot about. When you go on a printing press, the more that you're going to print, the less expensive you can get that packaging for. In other words, if it's like an MOQ, which is a minimum order quantity. So let's say the minimum order quantity is 5,000. And you order 5,000, it's going to be one price. But let's say that you double that minimum order quantity and you get 10,000. Well, usually that 10,000 is going to be a cheaper price, or 15,000 or 20,000. But they're not making a whole lot of these. But it costs a lot of money for some of the printing, especially the job that they're doing on that. 8-Bit Flea back again says, I picked up Boba somewhere else. Don't want to risk it. You don't have to stop doing what you're doing. When that Boba Fett came out, 8-Bit Flea, this is a great comment. I don't always buy from Sideshow. You guys know one of the people I buy from is Ray at Hawk Wars Toys. Shout out to Ray at Hawk Wars. I just got my Bo-Katan. My Bo-Katan Cries from Ray at Hawk Wars right before I went away. Can't wait to open up that sucker. And but you don't have to just buy. You don't have to change what you're doing because these are happening. Number one, you don't have to do anything until it gets to the low stock warning. Or do you? Or do you? Because what happened with the R2-D2? And what happened with the Boba Fett from the book of Boba Fett? They're clearly showing you have a little bit of a window, but still, only a little bit of a window. You don't have to really change what you're doing. When the figure comes out, you know you're going to get it. It's on your radar. You get it from wherever you're going to get the figure. Somewhere overseas, somewhere here in the States. Whatever comic shop, your local comic shop, you put it on reserve, you're good. You don't have to change anything, whether it goes on waitlist or it doesn't go on waitlist. You don't have to change anything. In other words, if you buy this from your local comic shop and it goes on waitlist, you still have it reserved from your local comic shop. You buy this from Alter Ego Comics, you get it from Big Bad Toy Store, you get it from Monkey Depot, you get it from your local comic shop, you get it from here, you get it from there, you get it, doesn't matter anywhere. And it goes on waitlist, you still got it. You still got it reserved, you're still going to get the figure. And a lot of times after that, even though it goes on waitlist at Sideshow, that doesn't mean that every other comic shop it's on waitlist from. You can still get the figure. What I will warn you of is I do get the impression once all of these pre-orders or comic shops or places that buy, once their allocation is filled up, that's it. Are you going to be getting second batches of these, third batches of these? I don't believe in the immediate, no. And what do I mean by the immediate? I don't. You're not going to get it within a month or two. They're not. If they were planning on making more batches, they would leave these up. They're not, because they're not planning to. What I think that they're going to do is, more so than ever in their history, I believe that Hot Toys will straight up reissue a decent number of these, whether that's a half dozen or even a dozen. I'm throwing it all of them in there: Marvel, DC, Star Wars, whatever. And I understand that it's rare. Taking Star Wars, for example. Look at the Attack of the Clones Yoda. Very rare. Straight up reissue. Look at the Han and Chewie. Very, very rare. So the argument would be that that's probably not going to happen all too often. But these are unprecedented times. These are uncharted waters. So you have to wonder, is it possible then, as we break out of this economy, whenever we start peaking and spiking forward, whenever we start getting on an uptick, and there's more and more collectors that are in, would maybe a few more than what's happened in the past to say, you know what, there's a little bit of demand for that DX28. Let's just put out another batch in 18 months, 24 months. And I say, yes, confidently. Is it going to happen with 24 figures? No. I can say that confidently as well. I don't see that at all. Thermos time. Hey, just smash the like button. I can't even believe there's over 100 in here. Goodness gracious. Happy New Year to you. You're watching my impressions of the Mace. I think the Mace is awesome. I don't think it's perfect. I don't think anything is perfect. But to me, the head sculpt looks like Sam Jackson. It looks fantastic. I wish it would have had roller eyes. People pointed out he's bald. It's hard to do that. And someone else pointed out, hey, but I could have used 2 head sculpts. I was getting kind of spoiled with the roller eyes. We got innovation with the USB saber instead of the batteries. We're getting innovation upon innovation upon innovation. One thing I'd like, Howard, and Hot Toys, I'd like you to be able to find a way to either get us the roller guys functions on some of the characters with no hair, or give us the multiple head sculpts. And put that into your price accordingly to not make it so high. That's the one thing that I would like, to be able to have multiple posabilities, because I'm really excited about that with the Padme, and it doesn't have to be a DX. I don't have to pay that money for the DX for it. I'm real excited about that for the Attack of the Clones Anakin, but I'd like to see a step up. So that's one of my calls to you. Find a way to make that happen. That's what I'd like to see. As I've been saying all along, you're starting to see what of the Attack of the Clones figures. I'm going to get to your comments. So sorry. Going to get to your comments here. You're starting to see the Attack of the Clones figures starting to come out early. You're seeing that with the one clone trooper here. And I think you're going to start seeing that on a vast array of other figures that are hitting waitlist. And I think we have to get prepared for that. And as far as going back to this Mace Windu, I'll be honest with you. I think it's going to hit waitlist within a few months. I really, really do. Top 6. Tops. Padme. Anakin. All of these. Let's actually do the math. How long? Let's do it together. That's why I'm saying 6 months. How long was the Wave 1 up on pre-order? Let's calculate that. Came out May 4th, right? When did that go on waitlist? So what was that? 6 months, 5 months? Whatever time that was, that's probably the window you got here. Somewhere around there. So you've got time to get it. But you don't have as much time as you once had in the past. And you all know what I'm talking about. And that's why I don't think anyone needs to panic. How long was the book of Boba Fett up? About 6 months, right? How long was it? 5, 6 months. How long was the wave 1 up? About 5, 6 months, right? That's pretty much your window, around 6 months. So it's nothing to panic at. Reserve it at your local comic shop. Reserve it whatever online store you reserve it at. Go ahead and make a plan of when you're going to place your pre-order at Sideshow. But the days of you waiting for it to get on Sideshow to get in stock are over. The days of you waiting for that to go on sale and go into the bargain bin at Spooktacular or one of these events are over. The days of you don't even need a call to action when it comes into stock because it's going to be discounted soon. Those days are gone. Because we've talked about it on many channels. We've talked about it on many forums. We've talked about it. All of us were waiting. I was waiting on figures to get on sale. Why wouldn't I? If I could pick up a Tusken Raider for $126, why the heck am I going to pay $255? So I'm going to wait. I know it, you know it, many of us know it. I'm sure some of us didn't want to wait, and that's fine. But that's what many of us were doing. But guess who else knows it? Sideshow knows it. Hot Toys knows it. They both know it. And is it possible that they made changes so that that never, and I mean never, get it out of your head, happens again? And I say, yes, it's done. But you still got, unless I'm wrong on the calculations, around 6 months. So if you know that you want the figure, you don't really got to change. When a figure comes out, I pretty much know that I want it. I reserve it from Ray at Hawk Wars. Or I'll go ahead and get it from Monkey Depot, put the $5 down. Or I'll reserve it from Sideshow because I got points at that point. If you don't want the figure within 6 months, don't get it. I think the real question here is not necessarily FOMO. It's the fear of not being able to get it for half price or 25% off or 30% off. And sure, you're always going to get discounts on Black Friday. Sure, you're always going to have discounts here and there. They're going to throw you a bone. But every single day or for 3 months in a row, buy one, get one half off, you can't survive. It's not going to happen. You need to get that out of your head. You either want the figure or you don't want the figure. Big Dog Pal goes, you got to believe. Let's go to some of these other ones in here. AJ Argua goes, 2 head sculpts would have been really nice. I agree. And Mark Attack goes, definitely, but it's weird that one pay more for a Timothy Oliphant character than Sam Jackson one, if you know what I mean. I don't know particularly why it's more expensive. It's a really good question. Bob Darcy's in the house and says, Hot Toys are premium figures. All Hot Toys Star Wars figures should come with the premium Kenner-inspired retro anniversary-style packaging. The Hot Toys black shoebox packaging really is outdated, cheap-looking. I love the retro packaging. I'm a vintage guy. You know that, Bob. I actually do like, though, the packaging that they use now. I am kind of more partial to the vintage. I do like that. I'd like an update in the packaging all around, even if they weren't going to go that way. I totally agree. Hot Toys Hotline goes, Natalie, I think he's talking about Natalie Portman's pricing for her signing. With the SWAU is very expensive, more than double Ewan's price. So it's very surprising the licensing for her isn't too bad. Yeah, it's a good point. And I think it has a lot to do with licensing, possibly the prices you're talking about, Timothy Oliphant, and compare it to some of these other ones. I'm going to some more of the comments here as I'm fishing through, making sure I put some of these in. Mark has, I'm in a predicament. Should I get Anakin or Captain Rex? I already have Cody and want a good companion piece with him. Get the one that you want. You know the one, Mark, that you really want in your heart. So you know if you really want that Rex or you really want that Anakin. And my friend, go with that one. And don't even worry about who to pose it with, because I get it down that lane too. I get down that lane where I don't really get a figure that I want because I should get one because it's going to be a better companion to this piece. Then I start getting what really I don't want. So just make sure you get what you want. Even if it doesn't fit in, get what you want. That's my advice to you. I hope that that helps you. For sure. Mr. Bob's Collectible goes, I think Cobb Vanth had a larger character licensing fee, in my opinion. That's how that conversation started. Lane Kramer says, I want to know price point. I will know for this. Oh, I want to know what the price point of the Super Battle Droid. Yeah, I heard that that's not up yet, right? 808 Michigan Jedi, Jesse, is pre-ordered. Yeah, for sure. So let's talk more about, I prefer the regular box. A lot of people do. A lot of people do, Master Emily. Good to see you. Let's talk about this. None of these figures are going to have a long window. Listen carefully. Up on pre-order any longer. You're going to have time to get Mace. He's not going on wait list tonight. Areas, I don't got money to put down for this today. Okay. He's still going to be around in January. You got some time. If you want the figure, put it down. I don't even have what Sideshow is requiring that I put down deposit-wise. Then don't get it from Sideshow. What do you mean? How do I get the figure? There's a lot of other places. There's some places that actually charge more than Sideshow for your non-refundable deposit. There's a lot of them that charge far less for the NRD. You have to look. I'm not telling you which ones they are. There's even some of them that don't charge it. And I could tell you that your local comic shop, a lot of them do not. All you got to do is go on that Sideshow website. You see all the officially licensed places, and probably there's a place close in with their area, or at least with a certain amount of miles, that can get these figures in. You let them know that they want it, and they put it in, and they'll reserve you one. You find out what the NRD is. If you know you want the figure, go ahead and buy the figure. I think you're going to get some of these that are going to get waitlisted very quick. It could happen within a few months, a couple of months, boom. It's still a lot of time. Even if they start narrowing these pre-order windows down to 60 days, that's still 60 days. So if I wanted to bore you to death to show you how long 60 days is, I could count the 60 here. 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, 4 days. Where's TK FOMO, baby? It's taking too long. You got plenty of time. All that's happening here is you're just not getting the amount of time that you were used to having during this one stint where I feel like that they lost their way with these collectibles and was certainly losing their collectability and was certainly losing their value. And we're pumping out just so much production that there wasn't even a need to have any pressure. I was even getting to the point where it's like, I don't have to get Boba in the throne. That's going to be out for 10 billion years. Why do I got to? Oh yeah, it's out. I'll get it when I want it. I didn't have to worry about that like the Haunted Chewbacca 2-pack. Did you? Did you have to worry about the Tusken Raider like you are about Moff Tarkin or the Tarkin Vader 2-pack? Are you? You don't have to worry about it no more. There was no more demand because there was so much supply. Again, low supply equals high demand. Not only did they have supply, they had so much supply, there wasn't even any demand, even to get at a discount, because you could wait for a greater discount. This had to end. And while it wasn't hurting the Han and Chewbacca 2-pack of the secondary market, that keeps going up. And while that wasn't hurting the animated Boba Fett in the secondary market, and while that wasn't hurting the Jyn Erso, or the Chirrut Imwe, or the A New Hope Chewbacca, or the Luke Stormtrooper disguise from A New Hope, and it wasn't hurting Director Krennic, for instance, and so on and so forth, those grails. a lot of the new figures are kind of losing that there was no chance that they were ever going to be like those figures because it was just way too much production. And so what's happening with this Mace Windu and what's happening with the Padme and what's happening with the C-3PO, which is waitlisted, and what's going to happen with the Anakin and what's happening with the DX-28. The DX-28, that already has the low stock warning on really the collector edition. Let's go ahead and pull that up onto the screen so you know that I'm not kidding you here. And as that pulls up, I'll show it to you. Let's see if I can pull that up again. Where did that go? There it is. Oh, that link expires. So let me go here. And let me go to this. So there's the Boba Fett waitlisted. So you see this up on the screen, gone. That's supposed to come out between July 2023 and December. I think that's probably going to come out much, much earlier now. We're going to have to keep an eye on it to see exactly how that goes. Let me go ahead and try and pull up that Vader again to show you that low stock warning while we're going ahead and chatting about this here. There's Mace Windu. There is Mace Windu, baby. Look at that Vader. Already up at number 4 again because people are starting to see that the window is closing. This is going to be any minute. Now, you could still get the deluxe, as you can see here on the screen. Let me go ahead and blow this up so you can see me navigate through it. So the deluxe doesn't have a low stock warning yet, but this does. And here's my warning to you. A lot of the Attack of the Clones Wave 1 figures had a low stock remaining warning on it. A lot of them did. But there was one figure that didn't, the R2-D2. And it was pretty much like this deluxe version. Don't get too excited that you still got 3 months for this deluxe version to be in stock. Because I think similarly to the R2-D2 from the Attack of the Clones, when this goes and you see this low stock remaining, let's see if I can blow up those red letters for this Darth Vader on here for you. As soon as this goes, is it possible that the deluxe edition goes? Is it possible that the deluxe edition would actually go on waitlist even while this is still red and available? And I say yes. What's changing is your window of opportunity to reserve these figures at Sideshow. Let me say that again. What's changing is your window of opportunity to get these figures at Sideshow. It's still a pretty big window. And the window is months, but it's not years. And it's while it's on pre-order. That's the other caveat to this. Not when it gets officially announced in Hong Kong. But you still have months. But that's what's going on here. Do you have greater windows in some other comic shops? Yes. However, some of them go on waitlist before Sideshow. How many of you order from Big Bad Toy Store? Raise your hand. A lot of times those get sold out before Sideshow does. It's a little bit of both. Secure it where you're going to secure it from. And you got some months to do it, but that's it. And this one's about to go bye-bye very, very, very quickly. And if the DX Vader, one of the most epic figures that I think Hot Toys has ever ventured into here for Star Wars, if this is getting a low stock remaining, all bets are off from everything from Mace Windu that just came out today to the Bespin Luke to Cad Bane to any figure you could possibly imagine. Get it out of your head about the popularity of the character. They're going more on the economy and saving their arses and buying these warehouses than your interpretation of what figure they're going to put in stock. Those days are over. They're just not putting these in stock. So I'm trying to help you here. AJ Argua goes, I sometimes purchase from Collector's Zone. Yes, I hear a lot of good stuff about them. And they get very little stock. But I love how they list their actual number. Well, it looks like Sideshow is following the suit with the very little stock. And About Futures in here. What's up, my friend? Don't forget that Sideshow is not the only center of the universe. That's what I'm saying. There are other sources too. So you could get them from the other sources, just like About Future is saying. But there's going to come a time where you need to secure it with them because it's not going to be available forever. That's the point with these. That's the point. Looking at some of these comments over here as I continue to go through. Make sure you smash that like button. Charles, good comment. I wonder if Sideshow is looking to set a precedent of consistency. 6-month pre-order for all figures moving forward. That way collectors know exactly what to expect, for better or worse. You know, I would like that. This is a very, very good comment. And personally, for Sideshow and Hot Toys, I would like consistency. It certainly seems like that they're being consistent, Charles, on putting things on waitlist. You're starting to see a little bit of a trend now around that 6-month window that it's starting to close. You're seeing that with the Boba Fett figure. You're starting to see it with the DX-28. You saw the 6 months or so with the Attack of the Clones around that window. And if it could be consistent and we know what to expect, I think that'd be very healthy for the community. Personally, again, I think having that long of a window for a collectible like this is more than ample, is more than adequate, is more than acceptable to secure a figure that you want. I've been calling for a Bail Organa for how long? If they come out with a Bail Organa tomorrow and I don't pre-order it from someplace within 6 months, is that really Hot Toys' fault? Is that Sideshow's fault? Is that your local comic shop's fault? Is that Howard Chan's fault? No, that's my fault. If they put it up for 6 minutes, then I say it's certainly not my fault. Dang it. There are some collectibles that go that way. We don't have that issue with Hot Toys. Again, the issue we're having is the days of half off, the days of the bargain bin. They're going to want to stop. And there's a lot to dive into with this. And again, you can post any question you want. I'm happy to try and answer. And you would think that that automatically means that the Mace is going to be a Grail, and the Mace would be a Grail. That every figure is going to be a Grail because they're making so much less. No, not necessarily. There's a lot of figures, like I said, the clone-plated Clone Trooper that has the 2 helmets. That's around 300, but yet you got the Arena Suit Boba Fett that's going back up to 5. It depends on the character, depends on the demand of that particular character. But I think as a whole, this happening with Hot Toys is at least going to keep your figures at the retail value and somewhere between 20 to 50 to 75 bucks over the retail value, which is kind of nice because you kind of need it to be at that value to get your money back. When you calculate shipping, right? Calculate taxes, you calculate your time to box it up and send it off. If it's worth $50 more, that maybe covers that, right? If the retail price is $275, but it's going in the secondary market for $175, you're going to get $175 for it. And by the time you take taxes out for it, and the time you pay for shipping, and the time you pay for your time, which time is money, you're losing big time on that collectible. And that's where I was getting a little bit nervous with Hot Toys, especially paying them at this price. Them going ahead and giving this reasonable, you're wondering if Sideshow, is trying to set a precedent where it's 6 months, you got this much time to get it, it's going to be gone, that's it. I like it in every single way, shape, and form for this hobby for sure. without question. Go to some of these other comments in here. Rob Garcia puts another plug in for Collector Zone. Is a great place to buy. Marcos is a great person to deal with. Always a pleasure to spend with them, and their discount codes are freaking great. And I see that's another shout out to Collector Zone, and just a shout out to whatever comic shop you like, whatever comic shop that you go to, whatever your local comic shop is, and none of us even know about, or whatever online store you go to. I would go ahead and utilize them as well if you want to utilize that. I wouldn't wait a year, though. I wouldn't wait for it to be at least in Hong Kong, because once they get out of their orders, see, all these places, they all get it from the same place. The production's done, the production's done. You got to remember that. It's not like that Collector Zone or ABC Collectors or XYZ Collector comic shop has a secret source with Hot Toys, has a secret source with Howard Chan, that they're going to be able to get in an extra couple of hundred somewhere. It's not going to happen. Once the POs, listen carefully, the purchase orders are exhausted, they're exhausted. They're done. It's gone. Again, it's not 6 minutes, though. You're getting about this window in here. The only thing that's changing is the time in which you're getting it. Anyway, this right here, thank you so much for the comment. Support local businesses. Right with you, Mark Attack. Right with you. So going back to this, you have it on the collector's edition. When you go ahead and you put it on the deluxe version, baby, not there. I would have put any stock into that, though. I don't necessarily believe that this will hang on here for weeks after this goes on wait list. And I actually wouldn't even put it past that this stays here. And like that R2D2, this deluxe version goes off. I'm just saying. I'm pulling back on these bestsellers right now. The base just came out. Let's go ahead and see. Any of these figures for Star Wars, if you see it happening with the DX-28, you're going to see it happen with the Mace. If it happens to Darth Vader, a battle-damaged Darth Vader, a Darth Vader, a long-awaited one with a Hayden Christensen head sculpt, if it's going to happen there, if it happened to Boba Fett, the 6-scale Boba Fett, it can happen to Padme. It can happen to Anakin. It can happen to Mace. And it's most likely going to happen. As you can see here, it happened with C-3PO and that whole first wave. If you want any of these figures, hit up your local comic shop, hit up Sideshow, make a plan to get this done over the next 3 to 6 months and get your pre-orders in. You need to start reworking for the new year on prioritizing your expenses and pre-ordering through a pre-order only model. Because like I've been talking about on every one of the market value chart shows for months and months and months, is that they're moving towards a pre-order only model. Not only are they moving towards a pre-order only model, you're going to be getting more and more announcements, but less production of each one of those announcements. And so you have to plan accordingly. I would go ahead and plan accordingly in that view. You're going to it's going to help you be able to get specifically what you want. It's going to help you trim out the fat on what you don't want in the collection, and so that you're able to go ahead and budget accordingly. But it certainly appears that moving forward, when it comes to Hot Toys, you're not going to have forever and a day once it gets released to wait for it to go on discount. And that doesn't mean that there won't be discounts in the future. There might be. You might even see in the future at some point some discounts on pre-orders. I know a lot of us don't think that'll ever happen. But I think there's always promotions to get new collectors excited to come into a hobby and to throw a bone at collectors. You may get some stuff like that. But like what we've been seeing, no, those days are over. Happy New Year's to you. Now, let's talk about what Hot Toys has done this year. Going back to 6scale cantina.com. And if you don't have 6scale cantina.com bookmarked, you just may want to consider doing so. It has all the latest information on Star Wars Hot Toys in the secondary market and all the latest information for Star Wars in a primary market. Here's the banner of the annual New Year's Eve show, which you're watching. I want to say thank you to Howard Chan again. A lot of us were losing hope. We never thought that we would get a Bespin Luke Skywalker. It was teased how many years ago? It was teased even before the Bespin Luke was teased with the Bespin Leia. Keep that in mind. It was teased even before then. They delivered that on April 13th this year. They gave us prequel figures. They gave us C-3PO along with 4 other figures for May 4th. That happened on May 4th of this year. They gave us Padme. And of course that Anakin. Just a few weeks ago. And then they capped the year off with this Mace Windu. Huge, huge thank you to Howard Chan and Hot Toys for making this happen. It's just such a beautiful year. But you have to wonder, as I put this up, because my man Jay just commented on here. I believe that the story for Hot Toys when it comes to Star Wars for this year is that they're committed to the Star Wars line. And while they've got to put out Mandalorian figures, and they should, and while they got to concentrate on the Mandoverse, as they should, and while they got to concentrate on series like the Obi-Wan series and the forthcoming Acolyte and all the other things that they're doing, and they should, a lot of us were wondering, are we going to get any of the legacy characters for Star Wars? Is Howard going to do that? Is Hot Toys interested in that? Would Disney allow them to do that while they're concentrating on all the Disney Plus content? And apparently the answer is yes. They gave us Empire Strikes Back, Bespin Luke, back on April 13th. And while there are so many hit movies out, other IPs, DC, Marvel, all kinds of stuff out, Bespin Luke was number 1 from a movie from 1980. And we already have Luke's for 6.5 weeks. Number 1, best-selling. They blew us away with the Attack of the Clones. Wave 1. Now you're seeing Padme and Anakin, number 1 and number 2. Mace number 3 right now, but it just came out. Give him a couple days, he'll be number 1. And we'll take the place of Padme and Anakin. It's going to take a couple days. And it goes to show you that they're diving deep, not only in the Mandoverse and the Disney Plus content, but in the foundation of Star Wars itself, which is first and foremost the original trilogy. And then secondly, on top of that, the prequels, which are also foundational elements. And some of the other content. Rebels. Clone Wars. So on and so forth. And I've said all along, I really thought in my heart, you couldn't push a lot of the new content without also feeding us the foundation and the love of which all that new content stems from. So what Hot Toys is doing very intelligently is they're taking a page, not out of Rian Johnson's book, but out of Favreau and Filoni's book. They're not taking a page out.
Fulfill your destiny.
They're not taking a page out of that book. Instead of Rian Johnson, they're taking a page out of Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni. Notice how much in love we are with these new beloved characters. You know, as I fill up table 5 at 88, characters like this.
All right, but this is the last time.
You love The Mandalorian and you love Grogu because they built it and they fed you some Star Wars with it. What do you get with The Mandalorian? You get Boba Fett. What do you get with The Mandalorian? You get Ahsoka Tano. What do you get with The Mandalorian? You get Bo-Katan. What do you get with The Mandalorian? You get R5-D4. What do you get with The Mandalorian? You get Luke Skywalker. The right way. And Favreau and Filoni know. And Deborah Chow knows. And Disney now knows. If you want us to buy into these guys, can you give us a little bit of fan service, please? Can you give us a little bit of Ezra Bridger? How about a little bit of Grand Admiral Thrawn? You want us to get into these guys?
All right, but this is the last time.
That Ahsoka series is going to blow you away. Blow you away. Blow me away. And we're invested in Grogu. We're invested in Din Djarin. We're invested in Cobb Vanth. Because they invested in us. Favreau, Filoni, Deborah Chow, that whole crew. And you want us to be invested in the Hot Toys figures, the new Star Wars characters, then you have to do it just like Favreau and Filoni and Deborah Chow. Don't just give us the Frog Lady. Don't just give us Cobb Vanth. Give us Bespin Luke. Don't just give us the third sister. Give us Padme. Don't just give us a KX Enforcer droid. Give us C-3PO. And that's exactly what they're doing. And honestly, it would just be rude if they didn't do that.
How rude.
And that's what's happening this year. Is I believe that Hot Toys is following that same trend on what Favreau and Filoni and Chow and Disney are doing. And it's very pleasant to see. Brother Cousins, I left you up there because I got into my rant. Just wanted to give a shout out to the greatest cantina in the galaxy. I completely agree with you about Waitlist. Right with you there, Brother Cousins. Awesome to have you in here, my friend. And Happy New Year to you, my good friend. Looking forward to many good streams next year. But this is what's happening here, folks. When you look at this, yeah, you got the third sister. Yeah, you got Cobb Vanth. Yeah, you got the KX Enforcer droid. They're giving you all these new characters they want you to get invested in. They want you to spend money on. But when they mix it in with 3PO, and they mix it in with Bespin Luke, and they mix it in with Padme, and they mix it in with Mace Windu, Oh, baby, it gets me excited. I'm excited. I get excited about the new characters. I'm more excited about Cobb Vanth because they had him go head to head with Cad Bane. That's why I'm even more excited about Cobb Vanth. Cad Bane, a legacy character. They put him in. Thank you, Filoni. I'm excited about the Mandalorian because he's teaming up with Boba Fett. I could shed tears right now talking to you about this. And you know what I'm talking about, you deep fans. You watched The Mandalorian Season 2? Did you see Episode 7 and 8? Did you see Boba Fett and Fennec Shand team up with the Mandalorian? I was like, I'm watching the freaking A-Team. Mandalorian's calling the shots. Boba Fett saying, yes, sir, going around with the slave one. I'm going to go ahead and get him this way. We're going to go there. We're going to go there. I'm like, hot diggity damn. I'll get invested in the Mandalorian if you're going to give me Boba Fett. And that was the difference with Rian Johnson. He gave me no reason at all. Zero. Now I'm getting excited. I had no reason at all to get invested in Snoke.
Fulfill your destiny.
Especially when you kill Luke Skywalker. What the heck kind of crap is that? Thank you, God, for Favreau and Filoni. I'm all hyped up about the Mandalorian because he's with Boba Fett and Ahsoka Tano. That's how you bring Star Wars back, and that's how you sell Star Wars figures. I don't want Cobb Vanth if I can't get Mace Windu. I don't want the KX Enforcer droid if I can't get C-3PO. Why am I getting the KX Enforcer droid before C-3PO? One of the most iconic characters in the world. You can ask anyone that's not a Star Wars fan, and they're going to tell you that that's 3PO. They're going to tell you that's Goldenrod. Some of you are cold. Oh, really?
Oh, really? You're cold?
Hoff's Hometown Hero. Happy New Year, brother Aries. That's a nice like button you have there. It would be funny if someone smashed it. The chances of somebody hitting that like button, Hoff's Hometown Hero, are approximately 3,720 to 1. And don't get me wrong. I actually love The Last Jedi. Great movie. Very well done. Just can't do that to Luke. See the different formula? And you got to put out figures the same way. I could get excited about that Timothy Oliphant figure because you're giving me a Cad Bane figure. And you're giving me Luke, which has really nothing to do with Cad Bane and nothing to do with that Timothy Oliphant figure, the Bespin Luke. But the fact that you're giving me something that I really, really want gets me a little bit interested. Okay, I'll try that too. Oh, look, Boba Fett's in this series. Let me go ahead and check out this Mandalorian. It's human nature. It's human nature. Not trying to jam down my throat all these new characters while killing off and destroying all the old stuff. And Hot Toys, I believe, is following that suit. Thank you so much, Hoff's Hometown Hero. I do appreciate that $5 drop. And then another one. God, you're killing me, my man. Thank you so much, Hoff's Hometown Hero. Don't ever tell me the odds. How many do you think I gotta fill up Hoff's Hometown Hero here? Well, I could fill you up. Let's see, do I have a Han one? Here we go.
Why, you stuck-up, half-witted, scruffy-looking Nerf herder.
Let me know what table you're at. I know you all been waiting for a long time, and I'll fill you up. How many of you were sitting at the most dangerous table in the cantina? Table 66. How many of you were sitting at table 2? And how many of you actually think that the N1 Starfighter is actually going to come out for the Mandalorian season?
And I say no.
Shout out to Mario El Profesoro. Are we blind? Deploy the likes. Valiant Archer goes, getting in late. Let's spill some coffee. I haven't done this in a long time, but Happy New Year to you all. Happy New Year for sure. Drop the like, says Mark Attack. And Void Day 23 says Favreau superior, Ryan Johnson inferior. Truth. 808's in the house. What's up, buddy? Hope you're having a great New Year. Cook up, Aries. Cook up. I am cooked up, man. You know, I'm actually baking some pizza right now.
You're delicious.
Ciao, boys.
LOL Mario. He says no. On the N1, we'll have to see. That's what Hot Toys is doing. So, when it comes to 2023, is it safe to assume that you're probably going to get another figure from The Empire Strikes Back? Just like you got one this year. You got a Bespin Luke that came out of nowhere. Could you get that Bespin Han? I actually think it's probably more likely that you get the Endor Han. I think you're going to get the Endor Han with the Return of the Jedi 40th anniversary. I really, really do. It wouldn't actually surprise me if you get a 2-pack Han and Chewbacca from the Return of the Jedi. I really, really do believe that's going to happen. And I'm going to shout out there to Six Scale Mafia, who was saying that on one of my shows one time when we were talking about the Bespin Han, and Anthony says, hey, I think we may get the Endor Han. I kind of agree with that. I like that. We're still going to get the Bespin Han, but we're going to get a Han. You know, when you look at 9 figures this past year, just from the Attack of the Clones, you got the Clone Trooper, you got the Clone Pilot, you got the Battle Droid, you got R2-D2, you got C-3PO, that's 5. You got Padme, and you got Anakin, that's 7. You got the Super Battle Droid, that's 8. And you got Mace Windu, that's 9. Just already 9. And I don't think we're done. But we got 9 from the Attack of the Clones. And like I said earlier in the show, and I know some people like Attack of the Clones better than Return of the Jedi, but Return of the Jedi is considered to be one of the most epic films and above that of all time. So you have to wonder, are we going to get at least 9 from Return of the Jedi? And I say yes. Again, not just concentrating on The Mandalorian, not just concentrating on the Mandoverse or what's on Disney Plus, because Favreau and Filoni are not just concentrating on Disney Plus. Favreau and Filoni and Deborah Chow are not just concentrating on the new characters. Their formula is to bring in Ahsoka Tano, is to bring in Grand Admiral Thrawn, is to bring in Boba Fett, is to bring in this character and that character and this character. So if you want me to be invested in the figures, you've got to give me these characters. And right there, just from the Attack of the Clones, waves 1 and 2, phase 1 and 2, and just with the Bespin Luke, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 10, 10, 10 figures that have zero to do with Disney Plus's Mandoverse, Andorverse, whatever verse. Zero. And is it possible that we could take that trend from 2022 and project that into 2023? And I say yes, with confidence. Do I think you're still going to get many of those characters and they will outweigh these? Sure. You're still going to get Frog Lady. I want characters to come out from this. I want the Mayfield. I sure as heck need the Grief Karga. I'd like to get an Andor figure, please. Can we get Cassian? And I think that that's coming. I still want the other two Inquisitors, the fourth sister, the fifth brother. We're still going to get more from that show. Those are all going to come and they're going to outweigh. But are they committing to giving us a steady dose of original trilogy / prequel characters? And I say yes. So what about Darth Vader from The Return of the Jedi? What about Admiral Piet? What about some of those epic characters from Return of the Jedi? How about a new Luke Skywalker? He is the Jedi. He's the Return of the Jedi. So I can't imagine we're going to get Return of the Jedi 40th and not Luke Skywalker. What about Han Solo? What about a Leia Bouche disguise? How many of you would enjoy that? Eric with the $2 drop. Let's see the Phantom Menace N1 with young Anakin. They don't do young characters, do they? I was kind of hoping for that young Leia, who's a phenomenal actress. Whoever portrayed Leia from that Obi-Wan series, she was just phenomenal. And I hope that that's not the case, that they don't do. I mean, she deserves a figure. She put in the work. She's an actress. Regardless if she's a kid or she's not, she still did the work, just like an adult did the work on that show. So I'm not totally convinced that that we won't get that. I know we're getting a Bail Organa. Don't get me going, because you don't have to put him out from the Obi-Wan series. You could put Bail Organa out from the dozen other things. So he's coming. But I'd like to get that Leia. I know they had a lot of problems with the young Anakin, that actor who played Anakin from The Phantom Menace. So that's my only hesitation on there. I don't know what kind of hoops they'd have to jump through, or if they still have the rights to make us like this, or how that goes in. But I would love to get that young Anakin from The Phantom Menace. But there's definitely something going on there with those. But I'd love to see that. They put in the work. They acted the show. They're characters. I'd love to get the figure. How about you? You let me know if you feel the same way. Thank you so much there, Eric, for the $2 drop. I much appreciate that. And Happy New Year to you. And Chewy's Bandolier with the $7 drop. It's been too long since I've been able to pop in live. It's been too long since I've been able to pop in live by myself. But I do this from time to time. Great to see you all, at Happy New Year, Dark Jedi Aries. Well, let's go ahead and fill you up, my friend, at table 2 with some of the most famous people in the galaxy.
This drink, I like it.
I know, it's great, right?
Another.
And we did get another surprise. Even though we knew it was coming, right? It's still a surprise to get Mace Windu right before the end of the year. I mean, think about it, ladies and gentlemen. We got Mace. We got Padme. We got Mace and we got Padme, and we got 3PO all in 1 year. And a Bespin Luke. Forget about the clothes and the battle droids. Like, seriously. Like let me say that again. We got Mace, Padme, Bespin Luke, and C-3PO all in the same year. Wow. I think Hot Toys is showing that they're committed to Star Wars as a whole and completing that whole line and filling it all up. And we do have the 40th anniversary of Return of the Jedi that is coming out. And How about that? How many of you would want Leia Bouche? How about that? Right on the side there. Here, I'll blow it up for a second. Does the Hot Toys Wizard, I hope we can hear from the Hot Toys Wizard, are we going to get Leia in the Bouche disguise? I don't know. We'll have to see. But, I don't know, maybe he'll interrupt this program.
And I say, yes.
All right, Hot Toys Wizard says we're getting Leia Bouche. You saw what we got this year. Hard to argue with that. How about this guy? Lando. General Lando Calrissian. So here's going to be the kicker with this one. The Dark Jedi thinks 100% that this is coming. But this will be it'll be very small runs. There won't be a whole lot of this. But I really believe that this is going to be one of the ones that you get. It's just going to be 1,000 or 1,500.
And I say, yes.
How about this guy? Just look at that face.
And I say, yes.
Thanks, Chewie's Bandolier. How many of you would like this? If they don't call her Slave Leia, and they gave it to you as a set to commemorate a scene, can they get away with it? Again, another shout out to Victoria from Victoria's Cantina, who's a friend of mine and sometimes comes on the channel. I can't wait to have her back in 2023. But she actually interviewed Hasbro to ask them about Prisoner Leia, probably known as Slave Leia, the way they came out with those figures. And they said that from Disney, there's no pause, there's no boycott, that they could get those figures. So you have to wonder, could they rename it? And here's the thing. Howard and Hot Toys, those, how many scantily clad figures have they made? Like 0, right? But there's a first time for everything. But you know, I mean, could this come out? I don't really.
And I say no.
Mario's ears must be ringing. Here's what you're going to like. A lot of people are like C-3PO's on waitlist. He's on waitlist, ladies and gentlemen. Well, don't worry, because is it possible that they're going to keep making you wait for the ultimate C-3PO, which is the A New Hope version, and they're going to give you first this Return of the Jedi C-3PO? And I say, come on, the Attack of the Clone One's already on waitlist. Of course you're going to get another C-3PO, but from the Return of the Jedi. They're going to save the one, and they'll give you the C-3PO that you can take apart from the Empire Strikes Back as well. They'll give you that one. You'll get that one. You'll get that one. That one's coming, baby. Don't you worry. I got to fill up table 66, someone's telling me. But yeah, you'll get the one from here.
How rude.
But is it possible that they'll make you wait for the grand enchilada until 2027? Because you'll be like, I already have C-3PO. I already have C-3PO Attack of the Clones. I have this Return of the Jedi C-3PO. I have that C-3PO. I have that C-3PO. But the one that they'll get you with at the end is, but you don't have the original C-3PO from the original movie, A New Hope. And 1,000%, they will save that one for last and give you every other rendition of 3PO that you could think of. How many of you dreamed that you were going to get C-3PO, this version from Attack of the Clones? How about, did you go to sleep at night dreaming for the Attack of the Clones C-3PO? They know what they're doing. Yeah, hi to you too.
Hello.
And oh my goodness gracious, Patrick, 181000 with the $20 drop. Luminara Unduli, possible Hot Toys announces this Jedi in 2023. I won this figure, but I'm glad. I want this figure, but I'm glad Mace Windu is coming out. Man, Patrick, is this what they call you?
They call him the Wizard.
I got to leave that up there. Actually, Patrick, is it possible that every single Jedi from the Jedi Council is going to eventually get officially announced from Hot Toys for Star Wars? And
I say yes.
here you go, baby. The one that no one talks about. There you go. There you go. You got your Empire Strikes Back, Yoda. You got your Attack of the Clones, Yoda. And 100% guaranteed for the 40th anniversary for Return of the Jedi, you are absolutely going to get this masterpiece here from Hot Toys.
And I say yes.
You getting excited about the Return of the Jedi yet? This is interesting here. This is the most interesting one to me. What are they going to straight out reissue the Emperor with the throne? Maybe they don't give us an Emperor. You could say they're going to give us an Emperor without the throne, but they already did that as well. What about these Royal Guards? They come out with one, you got to come out with the other, right? I mean, the Emperor is like hard to get. Are they going to not put this out in the 40th anniversary packaging, or they're not? Or are they going to put this out? I mean, really, it's interesting. Or is this going to come out again? Actually, a more important question is, should I actually fill up table 66, baby?
Everything that has transpired has done so according to my design.
Would they two-pack this? How would they even do that? Could they give you the Vader in a two-pack? Let's talk about that for a minute. Could they? No, I'm being serious. I'm being serious. Let's talk about this. Let's talk about scenarios. And you can't tell me it's impossible because you saw the Batman and Dark Suit Superman come out in a 2-pack. And you saw Boba Fett in his robes and then come out with the other Boba Fett. So you can't tell me it's impossible, but let's look at this. Could they give you Vader with the head sculpt we're all looking for, but you could only get him if you get an Emperor? And they put it all in one. Or let's look at Vader, and you could only get that Vader with another Luke. And they give you the Luke from Return of the Jedi that goes with this Vader for that scene where you take off the hat and it's just Vader and Luke 2-pack. Can you see a father and son 2-pack? Like, seriously, I'm asking you. Number one, can you see that? But then you can't get the Vader by himself, just like you can't get Boba Fett with the robes by himself. Could they do something like that? Let's take it a step further. Could they make it a Vader and Emperor 2-pack? Which, now that I'm talking about it, I lean more towards a Vader and Luke 2-pack, father and son one. Would they actually give you an Emperor and Royal Guard? Could they give you a 3-pack like this? Have they ever even done a 3-pack? Could it be done? Is what I'm asking. Let's talk about price. What are you talking about, Aries? Let's talk about price on this. You want to get Emperor on the throne right now. So you're going to spend anywhere right now, what is that? $700. So I say $600 to $800. So in a secondary market, you spend $600 to $800 on that, or you buy an Emperor 3-pack, the 2 Royal Guards in that. I don't know. Just food for thought. All this could be a la carte. But remember, we have gotten some 2-packs lately. So I don't think that they're done. And I don't want to just wimp out and say it's only going to happen with troopers and clothes, which they're going to happen. But I just want to point that out. But there could be some interesting things this year with this. Can you imagine a commemorative pack Vader and Luke? AJ Arguing, thank you so much for that $20 drop again. Patrick, I just want to put that up one more time. I really appreciate that. Luminar Unduli, and I say yes. Thank you so much for that, my friend. Means a lot. AJ Arguing, let's go big with a 3-pack. First time for everything. Single songwriters in the house, my man. And he puts in Royal Guard 2-pack. Now. Is this what they call you, songwriter?
They call him the Wizard.
Where is Watto? Where is Watto? Boy, that's a really, really good question. Where is Watto? He would be a sick fig. Watto may...
And I say, yes.
There's your answer, Hoth. I mean, says Baba Luigi, they did a Snow Trooper 2-pack, so why not Royal Guards? Mama Luigi. A lot of wizardry going on here today. So, Baba Luigi, is this what they call you?
They call him the Wizard.
Benjamin, do you think that Hot Toys will do the animated Clone Wars 1/6 figures, even though Sideshow Collectibles is doing so? It's a good question, Benjamin. I think they are doing the Clone Wars figures, but I believe that they're only going to do it with the true head sculpts. So I think the closest you're going to get is the Ahsoka Tano from the Clone Wars, which looks like a young Rosario Dawson. It's a great job. But Hot Toys is basically saying that they're sticking with just the real human look. So I think you're going to have to, and personally, I thought Sideshow, even I've seen some of them, they look good. I think that that's your bet. I do not see Hot Toys at all getting into that arena of that effect. I don't think it is their arena. I don't think there's a desire for them to go into that arena. And I actually applaud them for kind of trying to stick true to what they do and stay within their lane. and not expand into that. So no, I don't think that they are. It's possible, but I don't think so. But I'm happy, Benjamin, to try and answer that question for you, my friend. But this one's interesting. This one's really interesting, guys. I could see Vader and Luke together. I could see the Emperor. I could see a 2-pack Royal Guard and what they're going to do with the Emperor. My God. But that's what you want me to show you. Isn't that what you want me to show you? I'm pretty sure that's what you want me to show you. Han Solo in 2023. Is it possible?
And I say yes.
We got Bespin Luke this year. And we're going to get a Bespin or Endor Han this year. Harrison Ford. It's going to get announced. I think they could shock us with a prisoner Leia. And I believe that there's a couple of ways it can be done. I will talk about that in future episodes. But I think you're certainly going to get Leia with the bounty hunter disguise nonetheless. Luke Skywalker, sure. I could see them playing around with a 2-pack. 2-pack Royal Guards, 2-pack father and son, Vader and Luke. Everything could be a la carte. I think you can get some surprises in there like Admiral Piet. Certainly you're going to get some stormtroopers. There's a lot of things that we can get in this. Certainly Boba Fett. We've already gotten Boba Fett. A 2.0 Boba Fett or a straight out reissue? They straight out reissued the Empire Strikes Back Boba Fett. In the 40th anniversary with Empire Strikes Back, there was no differences. But you have to wonder, would they 2.0 it for the 40th anniversary packaging for Return of the Jedi? And I say, yes. And holy smoke, magnetic instead of that stupid click-on stuff? My God. But this would be insane. And really, and another shout out to 6 Scale Mafia, because we've gotten the Biker Scout, we've gotten this, we've gotten that, we've gotten Wicked, we've gotten Leia, we've gotten Luke, we've gotten Halberdy Endor. What are we missing? We're missing Han Solo. And as much as we're missing Han Solo, the Bespin disguise one, because we are, because that would go good with the Lando. The Bespin Han would go great with the Leia. It's really missing from this scene right here. And you do have more urgency with the 40th anniversary of Return of the Jedi coming here. And Harrison Ford is doing the Indiana Jones and back at Disney. And reportedly back with Star Wars, getting ready to do some voiceovers and stuff like that. So you have to wonder, is this the first new Han Solo? I'm telling you, baby.
And I say yes.
Mr. Bob Collectible says, give me a damaged Darth Vader after destroying the Emperor. Oh, God, dude. Yeah, I'll take a 3-pack of this too. Whoever put that in here. Did you smash that like button yet? Smash it for the Dark Jedi. Happy New Year's Eve. I haven't done this in a while. How many of you are enjoying this? First off, I enjoy the paddle shows, number one. It's number one for me. Number two, I love doing the market shows pre-recorded. I haven't done this in a few months. Do you all like when I do this? Because I'll do it. I'm only going to do it once in a while. But if you like it, I won't wait till next New Year's to do it. Blew you away with that Yoda, didn't I? Oh, I was going to show you the Chewbacca that they teased with the Scout Trooper. Well, I guess I can't do that. But that's another one. That's another one. That's not coming up on the screen. There's so much we could do. So much that we can do with Return of the Jedi. What's your picks for Return of the Jedi 40th? What are your picks for the Return of the Jedi 40th figures? Tell me in the chat right now. Make sure you're smashing that like button, what you tell me. But what are your picks for that? I think we're going to get the Vader. I think we're going to get a Luke. I think we're going to get a Han. I think we're going to get a Leia. I think we're going to get a Chewbacca. I think we're going to get a C-3PO. I think we're going to get a Stormtrooper. I think we may get a Stormtrooper 2-pack. Gosh, that's already 7-8 figures right there. Let's go ahead and count those through. Let's go ahead and count those through. I think we're going to get a Vader. That's 1. I think we're going to get a Luke. That's 2. I think we're going to get a 3PO. That's 3. I think we're going to get a Leia disguise. That's 4. I think we're going to get a Trooper. That's 5. Probably going to get a Royal Guard. That's 6. If you get a Han, that's 7. If you get a surprise in there, that's 8. See, it's not too hard to equal up to 9, which is exactly what you got this year with the Attack of the Clones 20th anniversary. And the other thing that's really exciting about all of this, Hoff's Hometown Hero, good call. Good call. A quarter scale AT-AT. Yeah, it's a good call. Single Song Rider, the return of Han and Chewie 2-pack 40th packaging. I say yes. Mary Sullivan's in the house. I say yes. Hit that like button for Aries. Mary, thank you so much and Happy New Year to you. Happy to be spending some time with you all here. Big Dog Pal says Han Solo, Medal Ceremony, Leia Chewie. Nathan Henderson says they are 100%, he says, doing a Vader with removable helmet like the quarter scale.
They call him the Wizard.
Rock and roll Aries. We love it. Hell yeah. Look forward to the streams. Well, then I'll mix these in every once in a while next year. Obviously, weekly with the market chart show. Obviously, weekly with the panel shows. But if you look forward to it, and Chewie's Bandolier goes, we love it. And Eric Henke says, we need more in 2023. And About Future goes, rock and roll. I think we will rock and roll because it's been a long time, been a long time. Time. Nathan Henderson goes, Return of the Jedi Vader with body and head lightning effects from when he threw the Emperor a hole. Get me. Are we playing with our actions? Woo! Man, it gets me going. I love this. And Ash, come on, Ash. That's awesome. You have to do that. Really appreciate it. Coffee full up at table 18. Happy New Year to all my collecting friends. 2023. Let's go. Look who went. Look who went to table 18.
Okay, stay calm. I am calm. I'm talking to myself.
And you have to wonder, is Oscar Isaac the last main trilogy character that we are missing from a complete Star Wars collection? From Hot Toys for Star Wars. Howard, are we missing this one piece, baby?
Okay, Stay calm, stay calm. I am calm. I'm talking to myself.
Dang. God, how many of you would love that? Mr. Bob says 102 in the chat. Smash that like button and subscribe. Let's go. Come on. Yeah, I would love that. I would love for them to just finish it up and give me a Poe. And I don't, am I being too selfish? Am I being too selfish saying I don't want to wait for the 20th anniversary of Revenge of the Sith for this figure?
Once more, the Sith will rule the galaxy. And we shall have
Am I being too selfish saying I don't want to wait for the 20th anniversary of Revenge of the Sith for this calendar?
General Kenobi! You are a bold one.
Collector number 1 goes, remember to hit that like button. Chris needs a Snoke. Needs to fulfill his destiny.
Fulfill your destiny.
I would literally faint. I would faint if we got a Snoke. I would faint. Like, seriously. I would faint. Yeah, no problem, Grogu. But you never know. I mean, I would buy him. I mean, that's why they make them.
Of course I want a latte. I love the way you make them!
Are we going to get a Snoke eventually? Are we going to get a Poe eventually? Are we going to get a Dark Side Rey eventually?
And I say, yes.
Snoke on the throne. We're probably going to get C-3PO on the throne from Return of the Jedi. How do you like that call? You know, he was on the throne. Remember when the Ewoks were going, But excuse me, sir, but they think I'm some type of a god. Well, why don't you use your divine influence and get us out of this?
Don't get cocky!
Oh, I think I should watch that tonight. Eric Henke goes 40th anniversary Wedge and Bib Fortuna. My God. How much fun was this? Mace Windu. Final thoughts. Time for me to wrap it up. New Year's Eve. Again, not going to be on pre-order long. 1,000% going to be waitlisted before it ever gets released in Hong Kong or the official final production photos come out. As a matter of fact, all of these pre-orders are going to be gone. I pointed that earlier, but you do have time. Gosh, you got plenty of time. Gosh, you got months. But you only got that window, and then that's it. And you got time, too, to order it from your comic shop or your local comic shop or your online store. But you're not going to have time. once the product comes out, once the final production photos come out. Because a lot of those comic shops, not all of them, are going to allocate their inventory already. And so what they're basically telling you is you've got a window and you've got some months, but you only got a certain amount of months. You don't got years, and they're moving towards a pre-order model. If you want this mace, get this mace. If you want this Padme, get that Padme. If you want that Anakin, get that Anakin. Do you got to get it tonight? No. Do you got to get it tomorrow? No. Do you got to get it before a few months? I would. I would not take a chance. But do you got to get it in 3 minutes? No. Do you want the DX28 and you didn't get it yet? It already has a low stock warning, and you're thinking because the deluxe version doesn't show that yet, only the collector edition. The deluxe version may go on wait list before that one. Look what happened with R2D2 with the attack. It doesn't really matter what it says. If it's already showing that, it's on the way out. And didn't that come out around the same time as the Obi-Wan DX27? Keep that in mind. Because the DX28 Darth Vader sold better. Listen carefully. Sold better than the DX27 Obi-Wan. And that one sold really, really well. Mace is epic. I think this is one of the best head sculpts. Certainly the best head sculpt I've ever seen for Sam Jackson in a figure. And you already got my thoughts. Absolutely epic. Happy New Year, everybody. This was so much fun. I'm so glad I got to come live and hang out with you all for, Jesus, 2 hours and 17 minutes already. That's enough for the Dark Jedi. I'm going to get ready for some spotchka for tonight. Some off-world Jawa egg juice. Come on. But the Mace is epic. What an epic year. 2022. We got Mace. We got Padme. We got C-3PO. We got Bespin Luke. Thank you so much, Howard Chan. Thank you so much, Hot Toys. Thank you so much, everybody, for your support as well. What an amazing year here at 6 Scale Cantina, Aries Cantina. What an amazing community. Coming on here all by myself, getting all these people out of here at once. I don't even know what to say. But I look forward to 2023 hanging out with you. You could expect these from time to time. You're going to get my market chart show every single week. 6 Scale Raw is coming at you on Monday. Don't forget about that. We're going to start off the new year right, baby. Is it possible that 6 Scale Raw is going to be live this coming Monday at 8:15 p.m. Eastern with a full panel? And
I say yes.
Happy New Year. Merry Christmas. At 6 Scale Cantina. I'll close it out with this. And then I'll play the ending credits. I don't always buy coffee out. But when I do, I buy it from 6 Scale Cantina. I will play the music, and I will play the ending credits. But first, we will play this. Stay thirsty, my friends.
All right. But this is the last time.
Thank you.